It's time for mid-year book tag video. Wow, it's already the first half of the year. Time flies so fast. That's crazy. Um, so I remember in the beginning of this year, me trying to just figure out how to film for a video and how to start YouTube, do a booktube channel. All of that, it feels long ago, but it's only been 6 months, and it's been quite a journey, and I'm quite enjoying it. And this is going to be my first book tag video in this channel. The channel being so young, but still we've hit 1,000 subs, and I am so grateful and happy for that. Yes. It's a small win, but it's nevertheless still a win. So kudos to the channel, kudos to all of you who have subscribed and watching the video. I am so grateful for all of you. Continue your support. If you are finding this channel today for the first time, hi everyone. Hi there, I'm Krishna. I hope you're all taking care of yourself. In this channel, we talk a lot about books and mostly just books. With that, today's video is, it's quite common, or I would say it's been around circulating in booktube for years, ever since I started watching YouTube and started following book content. I've been seeing this. It's a book tag video that people, like content creators, create at the first half, after the first half of the year, and they tag books which are like the best in the first half, the worst books, the most disappointed books, the new favorite authors. So all those different changes that they find, and a little bit of analytics of the books they have read and all of that. So I personally find a lot of good recommendation in these videos, especially new releases and quite recent ones, right, that we find in these kind of videos. So I'm attempting to do the same here today. We're going to do a mid-year freakout tag for all the books that I've read in the first half of 2025. Let's start. How is your reading goal going on? So my reading goal for 2025 is to finish 100 books by the end of December 31st. And as of today is July, I'm late, July 5th, Saturday, and I finished 46 books. It is going okay. When I look at my Goodreads, I am pretty happy with some of the new reads and authors that I've found. Great anticipated reads that have actually made me really happy. Some of them were quite disappointing, but I had some long-awaited books that I read, and it's made my, I don't know, Goodreads page quite colorful, if you ask. This is the year I started the Red Rising series. This is the year I started Poppy Ward. This is the year I read first time The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. There's a lot of first times. So it was quite a good start for the year. I did have quite, not a lot of DNFs, but I did DNF 2 books. But other than that, it's going good. It's going okay. I'm trying out some new authors. I'm trying out Indian writing again. So exciting stuff. Reading goal is going well. Our next question is the best books you have read so far in 2025. So I don't have a best book. It's best books. So I would say some of the best books that comes to my mind first itself would be Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Someone had asked me to talk about Sally Rooney books. I have only read Normal People and Intermezzo. I do have Beautiful World, Where Are You by her. I've not yet read it. Intermezzo was it was a hit or miss kind of an attempt for me. I know how Sally Rooney writes, and it's quite difficult to get into it. But Intermezzo surprised me. I really liked all the 6 characters and the dog. I remember the story and the plot line really well, how it affected me. The story is about 2 brothers who are kind of navigating their grief through after their father's death, how it is affecting their relationships with the females in their life, and how toxic it is making them, how hard it is for them to go through this when there is a lot of unspoken grief and conflict within them. So it's kind of like a family drama, but there's a lot of romance element. In fact, there's quite a lot of romance element in it, and the women in these books were impressive. I remember thinking them they were quite forgiving to the men. I really enjoyed the read. Another book.
I have a cold again. If I sound weird, it's not intentional.
Okay. Other books that I do want to mention here, and my favorite books, is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Since I'm not doing a wrap up video, you guys are not actually seeing the books as I read them. I'm trying to put out shorts as like quick short reviews. But Red Rising was it was top tier book for me. I don't rate books, but if I were to rate books, this is like top tier 5-star book for me. So for me, I think slowly I'm realizing how I could rate books. If I were to rate something 5-star, how it should be. Now I have like a tier there, and that is Red Rising. Red Rising is actually a it's a sci-fi. I don't think it's a fantasy book. It's a sci-fi book, and it's about Darrow, who is living in Mars, who's trying to um, help the Federation Corporation to keep Mars habitable, or like they're trying to make it habitable, and so that people from Earth can come here and settle. At least that's what Darrow thinks. And this gives so much Hunger Games vibes, as in how people are oppressed based on some sort of differentiation. In this case, they are oppressed based on their color, not the skin color, but here people are divided as golds, silvers. Is there a silver? I forget. Reds and browns. So Darrow here is a low red, so who is actually a miner who would have to go mine for rare elements, so that it helps the planet to be what to say, refurbished for people. I'm not doing a good job explaining Red Rising, oh man. But the book is so much more than the plot. It is the character depth of Game of Thrones. I've said this before, and you combine it with the action of Hunger Games and everything else, right? So it is very urban, fantasy esque, but the people are actually experiencing a very medieval life, and they have the struggles of that. Another book that I want to mention, two books that I do want to mention, this is honorable mentions, that is Conditions of Will by Josiah Hastings and Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. Both great books, loved it. You have already seen my review on it. I want to mention them as the best books that I've read so far in 2025. Best sequel you have read so far in 2025. This question is a bit of a challenge. I have not read a lot of sequels, which is to say I have not continued a lot of series. I'm not that good at it. So I feel like if I buy the whole series at once, I'm really motivated to read them. That's what I did for Throne of Glass. I got the whole set. But I'm also this person who is not very sure if I should get the whole thing. What if I hate the first book and don't want to continue? So that's also another thing. But Throne of Glass, I was so sure I would love it. I've heard so much reviews, and that's why I got it. So some of the books that you see, I've only got the first book, like Poppy or Red Rising. I was not sure even if it worked for everyone else. I do not know if it worked for me. I would have to say the two sequels that I've read are actually Paladin's Strength by T. Kingfisher and Onyx Storm. Onyx Storm is not the sequel, it's a third book in the series. So if you ask me which would be the best in these two, I would say that is Paladin's Strength. I also read Fearless, but you know what my thoughts are on those. So I would have to say Paladin's Strength. So Paladin's Strength is the second book in the series, second or third. I think second book in the series of whole. It's not a series, they are standalones, but it all happens in the same world. So T. Kingfisher writes these hilarious adult fantasies. When I say adult, it's not because of the spice content in it. If at all there are young adult kids watching my channel, hi kids, these books are not for you. Okay, so there are a lot of adult jokes and everything, and the main characters are always 35 or 40 years old. So it's very witty and funny how T. Kingfisher writes awkward situations for people in middle ages when they try to tackle romance. And along with it, she throws in some magical elements and she puts in an adventure in it, and there are a lot of funny characters. So if you know T. Kingfisher, if you know her writing, you would obviously know how great it is. I don't know if she's underrated. I don't see a lot of Indian booktube channels recommending, maybe. I don't know. I have not seen it, maybe because of that. But T. Kingfisher is a great author. If you love funny books, definitely pick some of her books. I've recommended a lot of books from her, my channel. Paladin's Strength is a story of a paladin who's like a soldier of a god. He's also, I think the person who we are following here is called Estefan. He was introduced in the first book, Paladin's Grace. And here also we all have a nun who turns out to be bear, as in like a werewolf, but she would turn into a bear, right? So that's a concept here. So both of them strike up a romance, and they have to travel together to solve their problems. Let's just say that. So that is Paladin's Strength, which was the best sequel that I read in 2025 so far. All right. The next book is the new releases you haven't read yet but want to. So there are two categories in here. The releases that are not yet released, and some of them they have been released. I have the book, but I have not yet read. So I'll talk about both. So there's Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake, which I did unbox in my last video. I have it with me. I want to pick it up. Friends by Frederick Bachman. After Anxious People, that is kind of the feeling in a book that I chase, and I am hoping Frederick Bachman delivers it in Friends. I hear it is a bit different, which is keeping me so intrigued. So that's the next book that I'm definitely picking up, which is Friends. I think it's My Friend, not just Friends. Bury Your Bones in Midnight Soil. That's also V.E. Schwab's latest release. That is also on my radar. I have the physical copy. And Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings. Did any of you know that Jessa Hastings is publishing another book this year? We got Conditions of Will. We're also getting another standalone book from her, Time of Your Life. I did not know this. I recently found it, and I'm so excited to read. And it's coming out in the next 2 months. So excited to pick that up. And of course, there is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Very, very excited. It's coming out August 26th. I think I have a reminder on my phone for that day to go pick it up from my nearest bookstore. I'm not pre-ordering them. I'm making it a point to go get new releases from independent bookstores if I am planning to get them as a physical copy and not get it through Amazon. I am trying to do that. Hold me accountable, guys. I'm trying to do that. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I think that's the same thing. I am anticipating Catabasis the most, and I'm also a little bit intrigued about Mate by Ali Hazelwood. If you don't know, this is the all right. I have okay. You can't see it. Bride by Ali Hazelwood was one of her paranormal fantasy-esque novel that she experimented last year, and she's coming up with the second part of it, that is Mate, and I am thinking of picking that up. So that is one anticipated release for me for the second half, and of course, Catabasis. Next question. The biggest disappointments so far in 2025. You know this really well. Fearless by Lauren Roberts was my biggest disappointment. I'm not saying it's a bad book. Okay, if you guys are like hardcore fans of the book, don't come after me. So I feel the book did not do justice to some of its main characters. And secondly, I'm starting to read Hunger Games, and it's looking really similar to what Lauren has written. So I'm kind of questioning her originality on her initial idea at this point, which is why I feel I should not have actually invested so much in that series. So it's kind of iffy for me, the whole series and the discussion around it at this point. Fearless was the biggest disappointment, and I also have a video on that. Gonna link it down below. But yeah, you have better options. Go read Hunger Games if that is kind of feeling that you're craving. And second, this is not like the biggest disappointment. Like, of course, all the books that I DNF'd are disappointments, like Haunting Adeline. But that was not like an expected book that I thought would be great, and then it was bad. That was not a thing. I expected it to be bad. Okay, Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. This is a book that I expected to be really good. Okay, because I was seeing great things, great reviews about this book by everyone. And there is also another book in the same series that came out. So then I was very intrigued, bought this. You would have also seen when I bought it in the last haul video. And I finished it. That was the last book I read. And I was, was craving for another book so much when I was reading this. I was like, God, I can't wait for this to be over so that I can pick up the next book. So it was like, I wanted it to work for me so bad so that I did not DNF it. Or it could be, I have a theory why it did not work for me. So I've been reading a lot of short books, a lot of translated works, and most of this translated literature that I'm reading are Asian authors, like either Vietnamese authors or they're Chinese or Japanese. So these works, all of these Asian mothers or Asian culture, kind of, I don't know if I got, what's the word? Saturated. Yeah, if I got saturated with the whole culture, I'm seeing it too much. So the author of Vera Wong was the same author for Dial A for Antis, that is Jesse Cilantro. Yeah, I did read Dial A for Antis, and also now I also read this. So I think I'm over the whole the vibe of those books where there is a Asian older lady, middle-aged lady who actually takes over the whole plot, and makes it funny because middle-aged ladies can be very persuasive, and it's funny when they try to do something like solve a murder or hide a body. It is kind of like a practical comedy when you imagine it. When you see it in a movie, it is. I agree to that, but I think it's done well. It's done too much, and I think I am over it. It could be one of the reasons. Second thing, I felt it had a lot of POVs in Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. It had a lot of POVs, and it was kind of like, tried to be like how in Anxious People there are a lot of POVs, and it all ties together at the end. Um, this is also kind of like that, but I don't know, like a knockoff version of that, I would say. If you guys love the book, I am sorry, this is not against your taste. It did not work for me at that time. And I was craving for a fantasy so much after reading it. So, yeah, it might be the mood that I was in, but it was a disappointment. Right, there we go. Next, the biggest surprise of 2025. My biggest surprises are majorly three books. One, Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. For many of the booktube videos that I saw, this book is in the previous question answer, which is the biggest disappointment. For me, it was the biggest surprise. Maybe it's because I don't expect a lot from Emily Henry, because I'm not a huge fan of her other books, like Happy Place, Funny Story. It's okay. She does really good. I mean, her writing is really good, and that's the reason why I picked up those books. This is the first book that I really enjoyed the plot. Maybe, I don't know, people who give out reviews saying this is not a romance book, I am not sure if you guys read the same book, because this is very much a romance book for me. And the romance part and the part of Margaret worked out really well, and it is a surprise for me because it was like I said before, it's like a genre cocktail that Emily Henry had tried, and it worked for me. So there is like, what am I saying? The book is actually about two authors or journalists who are trying to get a job from a great, famous celebrity socialite kind of lady who went missing, I think, 2 decades back because of all the press and media torture that she was getting, and now she's reached out to these two authors to finally meet with them and also write her life story with them, or an autobiography. But when they reach there to this little island where she lives, Margaret lives, they find out that they have to compete with each other to figure out who gets a job. So a month they stay along with her in the island, and they do interviews and they do a trial submission of what her story would look like, and she would choose the person. So it's very much like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it is similar to that, but I don't think it's bad in a way that you have to definitely compare it to it, but it is a way how Emily would write it, and I enjoyed it. So that's a surprise. Second is an author that I found for the first time, that is B.K. Morrison. I read The First Time Caller by B.K. Morrison. You know how much less romance books I read in this channel. This is not a romance heavy corner, guys. If you are new, this is a very fantasy, sci-fi heavy corner, and a lot of general fiction and a sprinkle of romance here and there. So it's very, very rare that I would pick up a romance book and love it and talk about this channel. So it was, I think, in the Feb of this year, I picked B.K. Morrison's First Time Caller, and I really enjoyed it. I did listen to the audiobook version of it, so maybe that was one factor. I always wonder if choosing an audiobook actually made a difference every time. So the book is about what do I say? Book is about a lady who has a daughter. I remember her name, Maya, and she rings to the radio station one day, and she's trying to set up a date for her mom because she thinks her mom is lonely, and the guy who picks up the phone on the other end in the radio station is the love interest. So that's pretty much it. It's quite cute, and it's not all cheesy. There's a lot of mature themes that was dealt, and the kid in the book was not at all annoying. She was really sweet. So that is First Time Caller, and I was also surprised by Kindle Unlimited book, which is A Forest of Dreams and Whispers, which is, I think, a Beauty and the Beast. Sorry, what am I saying? It is who pricks the needle? Sleeping Beauty. It's a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but the Sleeping Beauty is the guy, not the girl, and the girl is actually his bodyguard. I think I did speak about this book way early in the channel. It was a great find. It was a Carrie Henry recommended book. It's available in Kindle Unlimited, guys. If you have not read it, it's an underrated fantasy novel. There is another book which is also a fairy tale, retelling right after it. If you're interested, do pick it up. Forest of Dreams and Whispers. Right. Next question. Favorite new author. Okay, favorite new authors. It's kind of easy. Pierce Brown is my favorite new author because I read Red Rising. Second would be Chitra Banerjee, actually. I read The Forest of Dreams. So I read the Forest of Enchantments and Palace of Illusions. These are retellings of Mahabharata and Ramayana from the perspective of Sita and who was it, Panjali. So these retellings were really interesting, and I am excited to pick up her other books. So Chitra Banerjee is also a new favorite author. And third new favorite author is going to be Hannah Bonham Young. She wrote Out on a Limb, which is also a rare romance novel that I keep talking about on this channel. Guys, pick it up, pick it up. So Vicky Patterson is not yet my favorite author, but Hannah Bonham Young, I am definitely going to read the next books in that series from her. But yeah, Pierce Brown, Hannah Bonham Young, and Chitra Banerjee. New favorite authors. All right, my cold is getting worse as I keep talking. All right, let's power through. Next question. New fictional crush. So fictional crushes, I think, would happen if you read a lot of romance books, and I don't know, but I think my new fictional crush would be. What did I write? Oh yes, I've written the guy from Out on a Limb. I'm gonna put his name here. I totally forgot what his name was. But the other one is Sam Penny from Conditions of Will. Sam Penny in Conditions of Will, and I'm so surprised that this is a character that Jessa wrote, the same lady who wrote BJ in Magnolia Parks. So I don't know. This guy is an epitome of perfection. So I feel like he is the green flag that all of you girls are looking for. So Sam Penny is such an emotionally intelligent guy who does the right things and does not expect anything out of it. Um, he felt very relatable and very real, and he is not without flaws. He had a very rough childhood, and he came out of it, and he improved himself. He went to therapy. He just worked on himself, and he became a better person. So that's what I like most about him. I don't know if it counts as crush. He's Australian, so I'm imagining he's having a cool accent. So yeah, these two would be my fictional crushes, if at all I have any. The next one, weirdest book. Okay, weirdest book is going to be vegetarian. Yeah, yeah. My weirdest book was vegetarian. This was the 2024 Nobel Prize winner book. That's the reason that I picked it up. The book is about a woman. I think she is somewhere in Asia. I forget. Is it Indonesia? Yeah, I forget where the exact country is, but she gets a dream one day that she is eating some raw meat in a forest kind of scenario. She wakes up from the dream and decides she's going to be a vegetarian from that day onwards. And being a vegetarian in an Asian household is not easy, as you would expect. It's frowned upon really bad, and it affects her relationship with her parents, her marriage. She slowly loses her mind, and she ends up in an asylum. This is not a spoiler. This is the whole plot of the book. If you keep aside the fact how depressing it is very weird, as in how being a vegetarian, or I don't know if I'm being insensitive, but it turned out to be a huge deal than it was supposed to be. I I understand the minority who it would affect that way, but if you are so okay with it and you switch to be living in this kind of lifestyle, why would it mess up your brain? I don't know. I don't know. I was not able to get on board with what the author was trying to do, and it was also really, really weird. Same with Convenience Store Woman. Convenience Store Woman was also another book that I could not get on board with. It's, I think, 80 pages or like 100 pages short, but I don't know what the author expected us to take away from the book. It was a story of this woman who started off working in this convenience store when she was a teenager, and then she just continues to work there until what, she's 60. and that's the only place where she knows how to behave to people, how to be social animal, how to function properly. So she is kind of like a, I don't know, like top tier introvert. Plus, she has a lot of challenges, interacting with people or understanding emotions. So I don't know if she's ever medically, recognized as such in the book, but that's the kind of person she is, and the events happening in her life. Yeah, I did not like any of the characters in the book, and the book was really weird. The next question is my new favorite character. My new favorite characters would be Darrow and Mickey. Darrow from Red Rising because of how young and fearless he turned out to be, and Mickey from Mickey 7 because he's just a fun guy. He's just a fun guy in a different planet who just goes about killing himself so that he keeps his team alive. He's an expendable. Um, so Mickey is actually this character who keeps dying, and he can be reprinted again through this new technology that is there. And he is on a mission as an expendable to help everyone in the team and the crew to actually test out the waters if there is something harmful, as in if there's a radiation or if they have to test out a new machine or something. Mickey would do it because even if he dies, he can be cloned. So that makes him really hilarious, and his existential uh, melodrama is really worth reading or hearing. It's a great audiobook. So Mickey and Darrow, these are my favorite characters. Moving on, I think we're in the last few questions, guys. Last few questions. Books that made you cry. Great Big Beautiful Life. The last chapter, I was bawling. Last chapter in which Alice, I hope Alice is her name, she is confronting to her mother how she actually feels about the way her mom was treating her. That one dialogue that had me weeping. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, latest release. I cried in the last chapter again. I'm not going to talk what happens there, but the space romance did hit me on my toes. Atmosphere. Poppy War by Arf Huang. If you have not read war trauma, war drama with magic and gods and psychics and weeds and drugs, this is a book for you. But again, not for the young adults watching here. It is very traumatic, a lot of trigger warnings, and it's on the page, written very vividly, it's explained in detail. So pick it up with warning. But it's a great book for all the adults here. You guys read it. But yes, Poppy War made me cry. Curious Case of a Dog in the Nighttime made me cry. I'm easy to cry, right? I cry very easily, I guess. Curious Case of a Dog in the Nighttime is a story of a kid who is he's autistic, and the way he perceives life and people around him, how he cannot handle emotions. Um, yeah, the life that he leads, yeah, it made me cry. On the other hand, books that made me happy. Books that made me happy again, Atmosphere, that ending made me really happy. I wouldn't say some of these other books made me happy per se, but Cleopatra and Frankenstein. That is a book I read and I felt happy reading it. That is written by Coco Millers. This is a story about Cleo and Frank, a couple in New York who is just navigating through their relationships and all the ups and downs, all the affairs and their marriage and their breakdowns and everything. It felt really raw. It felt very close to heart, and it gives a promise reading books like that. That even though we know it's fiction, but the stories sound very plausible in real life. And seeing characters who are very flawed finding peace and finding happiness at the end made me happy. It is possible for all of us, kind of a feeling. And Days at Murasaki Bookshop. That was kind of a feel-good read, but it actually made me very happy reading what the characters actually go through in that space. And it's also because it's very atmospheric, and the entire book happens in a bookstore. The lead lives on the second floor of the bookstore. So that was also another reason why I thought it's a happy book. The most beautiful book you have bought so far this year or received. The most beautiful books would be Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I am obsessed with the cover, the hardcover copy of that. Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake is a beautiful cover. Beautyland, that is also a very beautiful cover. What else? What else? Studying Drowning, Gifted and Talented, and Beautyland. Love the covers. Last question. Guys, last question. If you're still here, I hope you guys are still interested. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Wow. Obviously, my whole TBR. I intend to finish reading all the books that I have bought this year. That is by default. But there are a few books that I have to, or like I really want to get it done this year because it's been so long that I've been waiting or either in the middle of. So one among those is Kingdom of Ash. Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. I'm on a 250-page mark in Kingdom of Ash. At this point, I don't know if I want to read it, but it would be so satisfying to actually finish Throne of Glass. Nothing is wrong with the book. It's not at all the problem with the book. It's 980 pages long. It was an 8-book series, and I'm on the last book, and I finished 250 pages, and then I got stuck. When I got stuck, I moved on to a different book, and I moved on, never went back. So I still remember everything that's there. I know where I left out. I know what's going to happen. I know where Aileen is and where Rowan is and what's everyone else is doing. I know what Manon does, and all those characters are so live, and they're just stuck mid battlefield in my head somewhere. I have to go pick it up and let them finish their story. Otherwise, I'm gonna go nuts. So that's one book that I have to finish. I have to read one Christian Hannah book. So I know Christian Hannah books are very hard to get through because they're gonna break your heart. They're gonna be so sad. You're gonna cry over them. They're gonna be war novels. I have two already with me, which is The Woman and The Nightingale. I have to read any one Christian Hannah book this year. I need to finish the Poppy War trilogy. It is also a very heavy read, and I've heard it hits you best if you have the story fresh in your mind. I don't want to have years in between the first and second book, especially when all the books are already out. I don't have to wait for them. I need to finish the Poppy War trilogy. Need to finish the Ember in the Ashes series. I'm not sure if I'll finish the series, but I definitely have to get through the books. I have the second book in it, that is Torch Against the Night. The first book was, of course, The Ember in the Ashes. I have the second book with me. I need to read it and buy the next books. It is also, I think, 4 or 5 books in the series, but the first book was great. I don't know why. Again, the same reason. I did not buy the whole bunch, so I waited a long period to get the second book. By that time, I missed a little bit in the first book, so I need to get back into that world again to be interested in it again. But it's a great series, and I've heard Sabaa Tahir is an awesome writer, and in the first book, I really enjoyed that. I don't remember why I didn't buy the second book sooner. Probably because I did not have a channel then. Yeah. And another book that I want to get through is Babel by Arif Khan again. A lot of Arif Khan books I want to finish reading. So Babel is again a dark academia kind of a story with fantasy elements in it. I do have the physical copy. I need to get to it. It is also a very intimidating read. People have told there's a lot of research work in it that it feels like study when you read it. So I'm kind of intimidated by that. I don't want to study. So, but I know that if you have the right concentration and you give the right time and effort to the book, it is going to stay with you. I've done that with other books and it's worked for me like that. So, all right. So those were all the questions that I had. I'm going to link all the questions down in the description. So if you guys want to do a say book tag, you can pick up the questions from there. And that is all I had for the first half of the year. I don't know if I missed out any other important questions, but I think I did cover most of it. And I hope you guys also had a very interesting first half reading year. Let me know what you guys find interesting from these questions. Do try to answer those questions in the comment section and let me know. What if I find a new book from your comments? I do read them. I do read the recommendations and I do try to pick it up and read. I have already read some of your recommendations, and it really means a lot to me that you guys find time to comment and tell me the books that you love. That's how I know you guys take this seriously, and that's when I know that I found the right people in this channel. So really appreciate you guys being here. If you're still watching, do consider subscribing to the channel. That's how I know you guys support me. And that's all I have. Until I catch you guys on my next video, which I am hoping to be a bookstore vlog. I'm hoping we could do a part 2 of bookstores in Pune. I have a lot of places that you guys have recommended to me that I have to go visit. So I want to do either that, or I'm thinking about reading some of the most hyped books. Definitely planning to read My Friends, Gifted and Talented, and Bury Your Bones in Midnight Soil. Let me know if you want to see a vlog of these hyped books. I could do that. Yes, that's all. So until I catch you guys anywhere else on the internet or my next video, bye bye.